Hi everybody, welcome to Oxford News This Week. I'm Terry Stiles with my co-host Jim Hughes. We're back together again.
Oh yes we are, yeah. Good to be with you. It's good to have had Allison here too though.
Yes.
But she's back in the auspices of school.
Yeah, God bless her.
Oh yeah, and she still submits her the writings to us, so we got that coming up on the Oxford News This Week. What's happening?
And in this week's Oxford News This Week, the developing solutions for disheartening waste hauler delays, what's on the ballot for voters in Oxford Township, and celebrating generations of success during Varsity Football Fridays. Sit back and stay tuned because the Oxford News begins right now. The Village of Oxford has been dealing with recurring trash pickup delays after GFL, the village's former waste hauler, sold the village's route to hauler Priority Waste in early July. Now, after months of frustration from the community, village council members and administrators attempted to tackle the issue at a recent meeting. Village Manager Joe Medore says the waste pickup has been at least one day late since July. Because of the delays, Medore said the village gets 8 to 10 calls per day about the trash. Garbage is sitting out longer than expected, and the residents say animals have torn bags apart, and they have difficulty knowing exactly when to put the trash out. Medore worries that the delays will not get better in the next few months, citing Oxford's small business size compared to the larger communities that Priority Waste took over. Oxford Village Attorney Bob Davis says he sat through about 20 meetings between Priority and other communities trying to broker communications and get things in order. However, Medore said he has contacted Priority through a contact obligated letter to explain the poor performance. Since Priority has not corrected the performance within the week, Oxford can get out of the contract. Priority Waste said the reason for the current performance is the conditions of GFL's assets were in when Priority acquired them. Priority Waste Director of Public Relations and Government Affairs, Matt Allen, said to the Oxford residents that Priority is here. They still care, and they do understand. Both Medore and Davis have been quoted informally talking to other service providers. They hope to see what alternatives could take over trash collections with no rate increase to the community and fulfill the balance of the contract. Good luck, Joe. Jim?
With the November elections almost a month away, the voters of the Oxford Township have 3 different ballot measures to consider. Potentially switching to a single waste hauler has been contentious with the community for several months now, and now residents will have their shot at a final say. Oxford Township Single Hauler Ordinance Adoption Proposal gives the voter the chance to say whether the Township Board of Trustees should enter in a contract with a one residential trash collection and the contract in service for the entire township. The proposal lists the benefits such as reducing wear, improving traffic safety, and offering more economical collections for its residents. The proposal would be a 5-year contract consisting of $60 per quarter per household in the first year. The other 2 ballot measures are millages that would ask residents to impose a new additional millage for fire protection, emergency medical services, and advanced life support. The proposed 5.5 mil would add residents $5.25 per $1,000 of state taxable value compared to the previously voted millage of 4.5 mils that expired in December of last year. Voters will also have the opportunity to decide whether to finance safety paths in the township. The proposed millage of 0.5 mils for 10 years would construct, maintain, repair, and replace a network of paths, trails, and boardwalks and provide additional recreational opportunities and safe routes for the schools, parks, and neighborhoods in the surrounding township. Terry.
Families of the victims of the Oxford High School shooting recently lost their appeal in court, attempting to hold school employees partially responsible for the event. The Michigan Court of Appeals ruled in a 3-0 opinion that the lawyers for the families have not offered evidence that shows Oxford staff were the, quote, proximate cause of the tragedy. The court acknowledged staff had expressed concerns, and a meeting was held with the parents on the day of the tragedy. However, the court said that it was definite and premeditated decision of the shooter, not the staff, that was the proximate cause. This decision affirms a lower court decision that said the school district has governmental immunity. Immunity is difficult to overcome in lawsuits against a public body or staff in Michigan, as lawyers typically have to show that gross negligence occurred. A law firm representing the Oxford family said they will next ask the Michigan Supreme Court to take an appeal. The separate lawsuit is currently in federal court. Jim?
Knowledge is power, and the Oxford Community Schools is hoping to not only give that power to the students, but also parents as well. As part of the OCS's Parent University, the district is actually launching the first ever Parent Education Air. The Parent Education Air is a conference-style event that parents and caregivers of the Oxford Schools community hosted. The Oxford Middle School, the event aims to inform and empower parents and caregivers by providing access to as many resources as possible to support their children in a knowledgeable and equipped way. Throughout the morning and early afternoon of Saturday, November 2nd, attendees will experience 6 breakout sessions. Numerous community resources tables will address from the keynote speaker, Nikki O'Donnell, in a presentation titled Navigating Your Child's Feeling of Stress, Anxiety, and Depression. O'Donnell will talk with other members and many with big emotions. Kids will have the opportunity, with the appropriate, to engage and help with mental health professionals. Actually, the adults will be finding out about that. To reduce carriers and to include many community members as possible, the event is actually free to participants and includes childcare for infants through the age of 12. Registration is required, and registrants can email for a raffle ticket to bring along with them to the fair and enter to win a series of prizes. To register for this event, contact the Oxford Community Schools Facebook page. Terry.
The Oxford Downtown Authority Board of Directors discussed a draft of a strategic plan for the next 3 to 5 years in its most recent meeting. The evening's presentation came from President POW Strategies Incorporated, Christina Shepard-DeCasius, who met with the DDA at its strategic planning meeting in July. Through the evening, Shepard transitioned from the DDA's values to its vision, tracking strengths, weaknesses, and opportunities for growth. The POW president also helped the DDA create a new mission statement. The Oxford DDA fosters a vibrant downtown by preserving heritage, stimulating strategic growth, and enriching the community experience for its residents, visitors, and businesses. The DDA Authority's strengths include a sense of community, collaborations, and events. They were offset by weaknesses such as truck traffic, parking, and asking too much of staff. Potential opportunities such as expanding the free trolley program into neighborhoods, improving connection to the Pollyant Trail, and engaging residents and businesses in volunteering were all covered. POW Strategies will provide a final strategic plan in the future. Jim?
Fun times and education all paired along with the Oxford Fire Department open house that took place this past Saturday. The department invited guests to go beyond the scenes of the local first responders. That took place between 11 a.m. and, of course, 3 in the afternoon. We were there covering some of it. Attendees will and have gotten a chance to support and enjoy the safety part of it all by having fun with those who visited the event. Their blood pressure was actually checked on scene. Information about the department's smoke detector program was shared child seats, safety seats were also shared as well. Attendees were there and could be interested in maybe finding out more about CPR and the upcoming classes and availability. Again, always a good time paired with education. Beyond the focus on providing public information for the event, also residents had the opportunity to set up close and personal contacts with the fire department, with the equipment, including fire extinguisher demonstrations, photo opportunities, and even the possible air ambulance. The tours and the newest member of the crowd there with the fire department, known as A2, the ambulance which was acquired after Labor Day from Iowa following a 2-year development process. Kids, again, were treated to games, face painting, agility course. Again, the event was free, and it was actually hosted by station number 1 at 96 North Washington Street. Always a good place to find out about the fire department and have some good times while doing it. Terry.
Reaching beyond our borders to our neighbors in Lake Orion, 2 high-end vehicles were stolen from a Lake Orion driveway in a matter of seconds earlier in September. The victim is Tom Bailey, who is offering a $20,000 reward for those vehicles' return. Bailey said he feels completely violated as the theft happened overnight just feet away from where he and his family were sleeping. Although the getaway was captured when his home security camera was triggered, there is so far no signs of the stolen vehicle or the people responsible. Bailey is the owner of a Harvest Orange Hellcat TRX truck and a Hellcat Dodge Durango, the 2 missing vehicles. He immediately called the Oakland County Sheriff's Office to report the missing event, but there has been nothing so far. Inside the one truck that wasn't stolen were prototype tracking devices Bailey was about to install in the stolen vehicles. He said the whole situation has been frustrating and demoralizing, saying that only 2 options are living in a gated community or not driving anything nice. Those with information about the theft can email info@sickthemagazine.com. Poor guy. Jim?
In our Behind the Lens segment, with all the negative ads that we've been seeing, or ads that are a bit challenging to watch with the political season underway, borrowing from my own phone, I was able to capture a sunrise, a sunset on our Behind the Lens, hopefully to maybe brighten your day. And all it took was some time for you to take that in or watch what's happening in our Behind the Lens segment. Just one of the many things that we like about Behind the Lens,
Makes me want to sing that song.
Sunrise, sunset. Don't do it.
What was that play?
Sunrise, sunset, I know.
Yeah, I can't remember the play it was from, but...
was it Fiddler on the Roof?
Yeah, thank you, it was. It was, and it's going to stick with me for the rest of the day.
Yay. Boy,
so later on, I might sing.
Anyways, great to have you along with this edition of Oxford News this week. Hopefully you guys are doing well wherever you are. We are well into fall right now.
Sure.
Coming up in our last story, Terry Stiles will have that. Breaking ground and breaking barriers. We'll have that. Dave Kenny will have Auto Talk, Science in the News. You're watching Oxford News this week.
Don't go away.
Welcome to this edition of Auto Talk. I'm Dave Kenny, and these stories are taken from Automotive News. In our first story, Ford owners can use the Stingray karaoke app right from the in-vehicle screen while parked and on the go. Songs are available in 38 languages, including 10 languages in local characters such as Thai, Hebrew, Russian, and Greek, plus a multilingual interface with 36 languages available. Ford Motor Company is encouraging road trip karaoke with a new feature on some models' infotainment systems, but solo commuters can't play unless their vehicle is parked. A software update for the 2024 F-150 Lightning pickup includes a version of the Stingray karaoke app that uses sensors to detect whether anyone is in the front passenger seat. If so, the passenger can scan a QR code on the screen to control the karaoke experience from a smartphone while playing songs through the vehicle's audio system. The app will be added later to the Mustang's Mach-E and gasoline vehicles with the Ford and Lincoln Digital Experience infotainment system. The touchscreen only displays song lyrics when the vehicle is parked. Ford suggests belting out some of the tunes while waiting for the Lightning or Mach-E to charge. Our goal at Ford is to continue to improve the ownership experience for customers by delivering experiences like Stingray Karaoke that ultimately brings joy, says Chet Truna, Ford's Connect and Engage general manager, in a statement. He goes on to say that Ford and Stingray teams work closely to bring the app to Ford owners so they can make memories with their friends and family no matter where they are on their journey. Ford said the Stingray app offers songs from a wide variety of genres with lyrics provided in 38 languages. In our next story, the biggest change to the refreshed Toyota Sienna minivan is invisible, but it might just be a lifesaver. Toyota will debut its updated advanced rear seat reminder as a standard feature on all trim levels of the 2025 Sienna minivan, employing a millimeter wave radar emitter concealed above the headliner to detect heartbeats and breathing of passengers who may have been left inadvertently in the vehicle after it has been turned off. The mostly passive safety system grows progressively less so if it detects an occupant and the driver does not respond to a series of notifications. The alerts start with a message on the instrument cluster and escalate to repeated honking of the horn and headlight activation, ultimately issuing a text message and call to the owner's listed phone. It's the first use for the technology in any of Toyota's global vehicles, the automaker said at a demonstration briefing for journalists. This is the Sienna's first full freshening since the redesign debuted in 2020 during the pandemic. While its all-hybrid powertrain remains unchanged, the minivan receives other technology boosts in its interior, including the addition of the Toyota Audio Multimedia System and a wireless mobile phone charger, now also standard. The base LE trim level is equipped with an 8-inch infotainment screen, while the 5 higher series XLE, XSE, Woodland Limited, and Platinum receive a larger 12.3-inch infotainment touchscreen. The LE and XLE come with a standard 7-inch digital instrument cluster, while the upper trim levels receive a 12.3-inch configurable digital gauge cluster. Also new for the 2025 model year is an innovative console-mounted refrigerator and vacuum combination, which comes standard on the Platinum and is optional on the Limited, Toyota said. It's expected to be in dealerships this fall, Toyota said. Well, watch out for leaving the people in the car. Well, that's it for this edition of Auto Talk. I'm Dave Kenny. Stay tuned to Oxford Community Television.
Back with you on Oxford News this week. Welcome to the sports part of the broadcast. Oxford in sports this week. Football fans likely are still rejoicing over the big glory of the coveted Double O Trophy returning back home to Oxford. Oxford's varsity football team slayed Lake Orion. They slayed the Dragons by 21-18. We're going to let the guys who called the game break it down for you. Of course, Dave and Travis. We go right to the booth.
As we're here now, and I tell you what, this was just about as fun as it sounded. You had everything, a rivalry matchup, but you know what, today, it was all Cats.
All Cats, especially in that first half. We came out and absolutely punched them in the mouth, for lack of better words. It was great to see us mix up the play calls offensively and defensively, bringing pressure when we needed to. Guys stepped up to the plate and really made some huge plays. Of course, you got your Luke Johnson and your Jack Hendricks out there on the offense, but defensively, you got those Anderson Krupas. You got the Brendan Cass before he got injured, and they all contributed drastically to a very solid win against a very good team.
Good stuff there, guys. Thank you very much. Although the Wildcat win against Lake Orion was something to be celebrated, 6 individuals were also honored during the halftime part of the contest. The 2024 class of Oxford Athletics Hall of Fame were part of the festivities. The 6 individuals that have made impacts on Oxford athletics program during their time at Oxford. Student athlete coach, special contributor to the first inductee of Oxford, freshman football team coach Jeff Bull, who reached his 29th year of coaching football in the Oxford area. Second was the broadcaster and also the house announcer, J.R. Laffner, who was inducted into the Hall of Fame. He was actually inducted because of the bowling program. Oxford's bowling program got started back in 2005. He was a big part of that. Student athlete, including Carl Reeves, who brought his entire family. It was great to see Carl back at the stadium there. Also former Wildcat and quarterback Kyle Rowley, part of that inductee class. First team All-State recognition from Detroit Free Press, and Matt Green, soccer player, also smashed a lot of goals in soccer, about 100 goals to be exact. And Ron Kelso, longtime announcer for soccer, basketball, and other athletic events, all inducted, all part of the 2024 class inductees for the Oxford Hall of Fame. If you ever want to get a chance to check it out, very impressive. It started out small many years ago, but now it's gotten really big. It's in the Ian Smith Gymnasium at Oxford High School. Very beautifully set up. Again, check it out when you can. That wraps it up in sports. We'll have more coming back. Dave Kenny's got a segment, and I know Terry's got the last story. You are watching Oxford News this week.
Welcome to Science in the News. I'm Dave Kenny, and this story is taken from New Scientist. Saturn's moon Enceladus appears to have a greater range of complex organic molecules than previously thought, increasing the likelihood of chemical reactions that produce the building blocks of life. Enceladus is one of the most promising places for life to exist elsewhere in our solar system. It has a vast liquid ocean underneath its icy crust from which plumes of ice and vapor erupt, and there is some evidence of energy sources on the seabed like the hydrothermal vents in Earth's oceans. The spacecraft Cassini, which orbited Saturn and its moons for 13 years before smashing into the planet in 2017, sampled icy rock grains in one of Saturn's outer rings, which are thought to come from the plumes. Those samples, studied with the probe's cosmic dust analyzer, have previously confirmed that Enceladus has all 6 of the chemical elements needed for life as we know it: carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, phosphorus, and sulfur. Cassini, that is, made a closer flyby of the moon, collecting grains from the plumes themselves, but they have been less closely analyzed. Now, in a new look at the data Cassini sent back about the plume samples, Nozer Khawaja at the Free University of Berlin and his colleagues have found evidence of a wide range of chemical groups that are common to many biological molecules. They include esters, alkenes, and ethers, as well as complex molecules containing nitrogen and oxygen, Khawaja told the Exoplanet Science Congress in Berlin on September 11th. While the researchers can't pinpoint exactly which molecules these chemical groups came from, their presence means that there are more possible pathways for chemical reactions to produce fats or nucleotide bases, the building blocks of DNA. One reason why these chemicals were not being detected in Saturn's ring is that Cassini detected less water in the ice grains near the plume, so Khawaja and his team could detect the organic chemical signatures more clearly. We knew already from analysis that had been done before that there were heavier molecules, but this is going to be much more detail about exactly what they might be, says Andrew Coates at the University College in London. This helps bolster the idea that Enceladus could host life, says Coates, but it will be very hard to establish exactly what molecules are in these grains because of the technical limitations of the tools that were on board Cassini. It wasn't designed to actually look for life, but more information about the building blocks for life is certainly something which will keep us going for some time, he says. Wow. Well, that's it for this edition of Science in the News. I'm Dave Kenny.
In our last story this week, breaking ground and breaking barriers. Oakland County officials celebrated the beginning of construction of a, quote, neuro-inclusive neighborhood in Rochester Hills last week. The neighborhood is the first of its kind in the county and the second in Michigan. Walton Oaks will feature 11 ranch-style homes for sale to the public and homebuyers with developmental disabilities. 3 homes will be reserved and customized for those with developmental disabilities, and the neighborhood community will promote supported independent living and proximity to friends, family, employment, and local resources for residents with special needs. The project is a collaboration between Oakland County, Rochester Housing Solutions, and 3 Oaks communities. The 1/3 acre lot being developed is located across the street from Oakland University. According to the Detroit News, the housing demand for adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities in Oakland County is high, and parents often have to place their children on waiting lists for group homes due to lack of staffing. County Commissioner Michael Spiz said he has supported the project, and one of the reasons he loves it so much is because it is almost all self-funded through loans and money from partnerships. The collaboration on building neuro-inclusive neighborhoods will continue with an Auburn Oaks neighborhood of 24 units in Rochester Hills, which is set to break ground in the spring of next year. That is cool.
We're already thinking of spring of next year. We got to get through this little thing in between fall and spring.
You
I
mean
think
that ugly winter stuff?
Yeah, the only benefit about winter, and this is what I found out, is that the orange barrels go away.
Oh, that's true. And
Yeah,
you
so
certainly do know that because you tell us all about them on what?
Well,
you
a
say
radio
where you're
station.
at?
Yeah,
Oh,
I can.
okay.
You mean WWJ? Yeah.
Okay.
That wasn't supposed to be a plug, but I tried to find a positive out of what was coming up, and
The
I'm
winter.
like, well, the only good thing about winter is that the orange barrels go away, but then you got to worry about that slick stuff on the ground. Yeah.
Yeah, and can I say, until those orange barrels go away, I sure hope people are driving a little more careful. I know that you talked about a severe accident that happened this weekend, and
Yeah,
the-
I mean
those-
between the crashes and between the drownings this past summer, oh my
Yeah,
Lord,
it's been crazy.
I was so surprised by that because I remember growing up that if you ever went on a watercraft, and I know you live on a lake and you have a watercraft, you always put that life jacket on
Yep.
or life preserver or whatever that thing was. You always said, as uncomfortable as
handy.
they are, that'll keep you going, right?
Right.
But anyways, now we haven't talked to you in a long time. Allison's been helping us out. She's back in school. What are you listening to in the
I'm listening
car?
to a writer that I've been listening to, Kent
Clark
Kruger.
Kent.
No, Kent Kruger.
Okay.
William Kent Kruger. He writes about the Native American reservations
Oh.
in Minnesota. Murder mysteries. This one's a little different and it's very interesting. It's called Love This Land.
No, this is a book, or is it on the tape thing, or what?
It's an audio. It's a download.
And you listen when you're driving
Yep,
in the car.
yep, yep.
Oh, there you go.
I've so far been through about 33 books since January.
And now,
Just listening to
did you find that it helps you while you're driving? It just takes. I mean, you can still drive, obviously.
I can. Sometimes it takes my mind off of it a little bit.
Right, that's good.
So lately, also, I'm switching back and forth between that and music. Music's good for your soul.
Oh,
you know,
yes.
so
Music will help.
yeah.
Anyways, it's always good to have you part of our little experience here at the TV station. We appreciate you. We appreciate Allison for helping us out over the summer. She's back in college and still submits news to us. And OCTV, we know where it can be viewed. You know where it can be viewed. It can be viewed right here, Spectrum Charter Channel 191, also Channel 99 on that AT&T UVerse system. You can check us out on YouTube, Facebook, Rumble, the Amazon Fire Stick, the Roku app. We're just about everywhere. If you're not finding us, you're not looking. If you have a show idea and you'd like to volunteer, contact our office. OCTV is easily accessed through our office number, 248-628-9658. Ask for either Dave or Terry. They'll put you in touch with what needs to be done. Very special thank you again to producer, director, the man that knows all the cables and wires, Kyle Snage, news writer extraordinaire, Allison Miller, our own station manager back in the big chair and listening to music on tape or whatever, Terry Stiles. I'm Jim Hughes, hoping you have a safe week. And again, I'll invite you back next time. And again, we will, as we always do, take a look at Oxford News this week.
Bye-bye.